because we can't push ourselves better and we can't rest ourselves better. It's like you have to open yourself up to the light, because otherwise that darkness can just swallow you. You know, when the medical world fails you in a sense, you turn to alternative treatments because that's what's left, right?
Hey, this is Jason from I Can Thrive. I would love to share this inspiring interview that I did with my longtime friend Victoria. We were recovery buddies, we helped each other to heal, and we both used brain retraining to fully heal. And in this interview, I talk about how we supported and motivated each other throughout our journeys recovering, and also how I prepared myself to get the most benefit from brain retraining. So I hope you really enjoy it.
Hey CFS Warriors, I'm coming to you tonight with Jason McTiernan, my absolute favorite recovery buddy and brain retraining practitioner. He has an awesome program called I Can Thrive Brain Retraining Program, and it's marvelous. I've done a lot of brain retraining programs, and because of the journey that Jason went on for about a decade with chronic fatigue syndrome, where he was very debilitated, and we became friends online across the pond from each other, me being in California and Jason in Ireland. It was really a blessing to watch him go from, how debilitated he was with chronic fatigue syndrome to literally traveling the globe and living in different countries and just having a blast in his life. And, I saw someone just post something where they were asking for a recovery buddy. So I was so happy to see that. And I wanted this conversation too to hopefully inspire some people to connect with people online and to build that connection, because it was such a support. You were such a support. I think we both just felt like we were like, we had each other's back. We were there to say, it's going to be okay. We're going to get through this, and we're going to try everything that we can. And so you were trying things and I was trying other things, and then we would come back and talk about what was working and what wasn't working. And so that was just amazing. And I don't know, you were just a real inspiration to me. So I just love that. And I'll never forget, and then when we were able to meet up in Ireland, you were basically recovered at that point. And we'll get into that in a minute about what you did. But I remember for me, I was traveling over in Europe, and it was a stretch, but I was so much better. And we were able to get together and go toast our health with a,
my goodness, I remember.
And we had always dreamed of that. And isn't that so important? We put dreams out there of what we wanted to do. And we said, someday we're going to meet. Like when I could barely take a shower once or twice or three times a week, it was like, someday we're going to do that. And we did. So, we want to dive into this a little bit, Jason. And I just wanted to kind of kick back to the days when we first started. I remember I saw you on the Optimum Health Clinic forum that they had at the time, and you were like posting videos of inspiration. Here you were just, barely able to do anything. I remember you were doing a 1-minute walk a day, and you were trying to increase it a little bit every day or every week. And that just really inspired me. And so then after that, I joined the CFS Health program, and I was in the forum there. And you came in with some kind of inspiration. And I was like, wait a minute, I know that guy. With Optimum Health Clinic. And then you and I just hit it off online, because we were so just wanting to stay focused on positivity and, solution oriented on what we could do for recovery. We didn't want to get into all the symptom talk, because where's that going to take us? We all felt like, pardon the, what.
I totally understand, yes.
Yeah, but we just wanted to focus on what we could do, because we knew how bad it was. So take me back a little bit to those days, and what was inspiring you? I think you had posters of mountains on your walls and things like that. What were you doing to keep yourself going in those really dark days?
Yeah, my goodness, what an introduction. Yes, you're bringing back all kinds of memories. And so, yeah, I remember I was trying all kinds of different things initially to heal. And, I tried all kinds of alternative treatments. I think acupuncture was one of the first ones. And I was trying diet and, a little bit of a graded exercise approach as well. So, yeah, I was walking for about 1 minute a day, less than 2 minutes a day. And then I was gradually adding a few seconds every day.
Yeah.
And I got myself a treadmill. I was in Ireland back then, so the weather is a bit inconsistent in Ireland. So I basically excuse me, I wanted to make it as easy as possible to walk every single day.
Yeah.
So I thought the issue I had back then was I would overdo it. I would do too much activity. I try to walk for maybe 20 minutes and then I would burn myself out. So I thought, what if I did just the minimum amount of walking each day that I could actually manage and do consistently every day? And I think I didn't see anyone else doing that. I just thought it felt logical. It's something that I hadn't tried.
Yeah.
And then I did that and I gradually built up to walking about 40 minutes a day. I remember I had like a checklist and I was, scratching out the checklist every single day, adding like a few seconds.
Yeah.
And the sheet, I had it completely worn out. I was using the sheet so much. And it was incredible actually, because I realized that I could see my progress right there. It was like undeniable that I was making progress.
Right.
Even if it was quite a simple strategy, a simple approach that I was trying back then.
You would you had that little wooden studio where you would go and do your little treadmill in, and I think you had mountains up there. You always talked about, you're going to climb a mountain. That was just like your vision.
Yes, there was one mountain in particular. I basically printed out a nice photo of it and I put it right in front on the log cabin wall, right in front of where I was looking. When I was on the treadmill, I was looking right at that mountain every single day. Even when I was only walking 2 minutes a day or 3 minutes a day. I think it was like 13 when I climbed that mountain once before. It's Croagh Patrick. It's where St. Patrick is said to have climbed and spent 30 days and 30 nights on that mountain. That really inspired me.
Oh, wow.
And I just really wanted to do that. I knew that it was like a difficult climb. So that was a really big goal for me, and it would have been like evidence that I was fully better.
I recall that you would make these videos for us on forum. You would go walking in those beautiful Irish woods, and those beautiful videos of you just walking. It was so relaxing and so beautiful. Yeah, you were always putting out inspiration, even though you were in the midst of your life, struggle. You were living at home, right? As a young man, this hit you when you were 20, right? And so now you were about fast forward into your 30s, right? Were you 30 at this time when I met you?
Maybe late 20s, I think. Late 20s, yeah.
Okay,
So
that's not where you wanted to be. You don't want to be living at home.
No way. Oh,
on the couch, that was your best friend, right? That's what we were like. What it's like when you got it.
Yeah, and like what you said, like literally sometimes just like having a shower was like the best thing that I did that day. That's all I could manage, kind of thing. And walking that few minutes every day, that was literally all I could do that day as well. But I somehow I mustered up the energy to share, like anytime I found inspiration, like an inspiring story or something that I felt that could help to lift people's moods, to help them to feel better. I wanted to share those things, and so there was always that kind of hunger to help people that we both share. That served us in a huge way. I remember, when we found each other and we were connecting and sharing. I was sharing about what I was doing with the treadmill walking, and you're getting really inspired with that as well. Like sharing that inspiration with each other, and we were inspiring each other. It feels so good to connect with people that are like-minded and want to improve and grow and focusing on positive things.
Absolutely.
Not someone who wants to just kind of live with chronic fatigue, but someone who wants to really get better.
And just the determination that you're getting over it. Isn't that incredible now when you look back at that and knowing what you've learned about brain retraining and all those things and how you were really setting yourself up for that victory, right? And so I wanted to ask you a little bit about that, because I know you talked with me about a lot of the books you were reading before you went and did a brain retraining program. So I think it was Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton, but tell me a little bit about the influence and what you learned from them and how you began to open up and realize this was going to be your way out.
Yeah, so basically, I would say I was quite skeptical of brain retraining initially. I think I was relatively skeptical to alternative treatments, but then as I started to try alternative treatments, then I was becoming more open to things. But I had tried quite a number of things before I did that, like almost everything that I could find. So there was a certain level of skepticism that I had. It was like,
I used to tease you and go, you were like a scientist in a lab.
yeah, like
doing
a crazy scientist trying everything.
everything.
Yeah.
You know, when the medical world fails you in a sense, because they tell you you can't recover, you can't get through this, we don't have anything for you, you turn to alternative treatments because that's what's left, right? That's what can actually give you hope. Yeah, you began to do that, and then you were skeptical about retraining.
Yeah, I was a bit skeptical of it, but then it got to a point where it was like, I think it was like my 31st birthday, and it was a particularly low day for me, and I was quite depressed, and I was like fed up of being ill, and I decided, okay, I was going to research whatever people did to get better, like whatever they did, I didn't care. It could have been anything. I was going to do it. I was going to fully commit to it.
Yeah.
And it was brain retraining. I found so many recovery stories from people who've used brain retraining to get fully better. Over about 2 weeks or so, I decided, okay, I was going to like fully commit to it. And so yeah, I started reading books. I was reading The Biology of Belief by Bruce Lipton, You're the Placebo by Joe Dispenza, and related books like that. And it really opened my mind. I knew that after seeing the recovery stories, definitely my belief was getting stronger. Like there was no doubt there was no doubt in my mind that these people had used brain retraining to get better, and that I could do that.
I don't remember, were they videos or was it more articles, or where did you find them?
Videos, articles, everything. I think YouTube was very convincing. I remember finding some recovery stories on there where people had been like severe with chronic fatigue and then they got fully better in a relatively short amount of time, not like years to recover, like a relatively short amount of time. And that was very inspiring. It was a little bit outside of my belief system. Initially, I was like, is this too good to be true or something? But then I started to research it more, and then educating myself more, because I know that I have quite an analytical mind. So I used to do engineering in the past. So I know that I need to feed myself plenty of information, and then I believe something fully. So that's what I did. I fed my unconscious mind that information that really supported mind-body connection. I researched the placebo effect, neuroplasticity, the power of belief, all those things. That made sure that I was like fully ready. So my belief and my confidence that I was going to use brain retraining to heal was pretty high. That meant that I could fully commit to it without having so many kind of doubts or fears. I just gave it my all.
Awesome. When we would discuss it and when you wanted to share information with people, it was always about the science, because I know you are very science oriented. What were some of the shifts that you saw in your mindset? And so just give me a few drops of what you learned that really started making a difference for you as you were reading those books.
Yeah, so I realized through looking at the placebo effect and how people they could be given a sugar pill but believing that they were receiving a real medication and actually get better. Or even people that were like athletes and they believed that they were receiving drugs that would improve their performance, and then they would actually break their own personal best record, even with just a sugar pill. There was no active ingredient in it, and all kinds of cases like that. I remember there was a case where it was people being told that they were going to be stung by nettles. And the plant looked like it looked like they were getting stung by nettles, but they actually weren't at all, and their body was actually reacting, and it was inflammation and everything, just as if they had been stung by nettles. All kinds of cases like that.
Even surgeries, right? Even surgeries on knees. So how did you see that applied? I think a lot of people hear that and they don't know how to apply it to CFS. Is it that you began to discover the power that the brain has over the physiology?
Absolutely.
So what was it that you felt like that was showing you with CFS that would be your kind of deliverance?
Yes, I think there was two things that I realized. Number one was that how about if my mind could actually help my body to heal? Like I started to really build that belief that I could influence my body. It wasn't like I could, do that and then I'm fully better.
And you were already positive. So it wasn't like you were a negative person and you didn't have a positive mindset. So go ahead. I just want to throw that in because it wasn't necessarily about positivity, right?
Yes, and I already had a pretty strong conviction that I was going to get better. Like I knew that I was going to get better, but it was more of like a someday goal. I think I was telling myself that I was going to get fully better in maybe a year if I rested like as much as I could. And I did all the things, like a long, long list of things that I was doing every day, like meditating for an hour every day and doing yoga and taking supplements and eating super healthy and trying to detoxify. I was doing like infrared saunas and all kinds of crazy things.
I remember that phase.
If I did that, yeah, maybe I could get fully better after a year. But I was telling myself that for years.
Yeah,
so,
right. We can't I love that phrase. We can't push ourselves better and we can't rest ourselves better, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So I think it started to really change things in terms of my belief that I could influence my body, that I was starting to feel more confident about that. And it was like very interesting and intriguing as well, because the power of our mind is incredible, absolutely incredible. I had no idea that we're capable of so many things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I started to really believe that more and more. So these cases of people being able to heal all kinds of different things and influencing their body, you know, with the placebo effect.
Right.
I view that as, if they can do it, I can do it as well.
Yeah, and like Joe Dispenza, who healed from his spinal injury, where they said you'd never walk again, and he literally used his mind to peak his body in a sense, right? And he wrote the
Incredible.
placebo.
Sorry, Joe Dispenza is, you're the placebo.
I remember that book had a powerful influence on you. You were reading that, I think, before you went to get your brain retraining. So it sounds like you were building up by feeding your brain this information, which was scientific, that you needed. It sounds like that was really developing your belief in your own recovery. That you always had that vision, you're going to recover, but it was kind of like lacking that sense of, filling in that information that you needed to say, okay, I do believe this. Because they always talk about it's very important to understand, to have belief when you're using brain retraining on what this is doing. Otherwise, well, you can't be consistent with it and you don't get the results, right?
I totally agree. I think for me as well, it was like I believed before I researched this information, I believed that I could get better, or that I can get better.
Yeah.
But I didn't believe that I was getting better.
Oh, yeah. Because of your daily experience, right?
Yes.
It's hard when the daily experience is really bringing discouragement, and like it brings a mountain of unbelief, doesn't it? That you almost have to somehow overcome, because you're living in a reality that's telling you something totally different. Right.
Right. Totally. Yeah. And yes, I actually realized, so that the second thing that I wanted to share is that I realized that actually I had some negative beliefs that were holding me back. And so the nocebo effect is the opposite of the placebo effect. And it's basically where, I remember watching some not so great videos on YouTube way back when about chronic fatigue, and it was quite negative. There was a lot of like negativity and stuff.
Right.
And somehow some of my unconscious mind kind of believed that.
Yeah.
And I needed to let go of those beliefs, because that was keeping me stuck. Just because someone calls something like incurable, and even if medical experts say that, honestly, that's BS.
It is.
So I'm going to call that straight away.
Bro.
Yeah, totally.
Totally, yes.
We're living proof that it can be.
Thank you so much for watching the interview. I hope you found it really inspiring. To find out more, you can watch my free webinar and start your journey to full wellness. Please share this video if you know anyone that's going through CFS, fibro, or long COVID, to really help support, inspire, and encourage them, showing them what is possible.